Welcome. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to a conversation. Welcome to an engagement, and welcome to us just getting to know. So I am Chandana Bawa from Delhi. And how many of you have been to India? Any of you?
Yes.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
When did you come to India? When was that?
Hear me?
No, I couldn't hear you.
I don't know what to do.
Oh, now we can hear you.
Okay, yes, I said I've been to India 10 times.
Whoa.
Last time was twice last year. Last visit was in December.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
Yes, I
wonderful.
love India.
Oh, that's so lovely. Where in India do you visit?
I've been in Kerala, I've been in Kashmir,
Nice.
Rajasthan, Mana.
South, east, west, done it all.
Yes, most of it. Manali, Kulu Manali, yes.
Wonderful.
Dharamsala also.
Oh, wow. You've done a lot of India, I must say. That's amazing.
Yes, yes. 10 destinations or 20, I will still choose India.
Wow. Yeah, I know it is quite a long flight. Yet I am so looking forward to coming to Mauritius. This is my first time. And
Okay, it's not that long.
yeah, it's not really. The world has become so small as where connectivity and engaging with people is concerned. It's become so easy to, to just hop onto a flight and
Yeah,
can reach a totally different destination. And it's really wonderful because when I met Josette a few months back in Dubai, I didn't know her and she didn't know me. And it was just wonderful to, meet her and to get to talk. And yeah, and what did we know? What did we know? That this Mauritius trip would show up in our words. And
yeah, that's connection.
yeah, totally. And so when, Josette and I were talking a couple of days back, and we said, why don't we just open up doors to everyone, who can hop on and we can just say hi to you guys and you can say hi to us and we can just kind of, engage with each other and get to know each other more. So there's
Yes,
no
yes.
agenda with this call, really. We'll go wherever you would like us to go. And if you want to ask questions or if you want whatever, wherever you want to go, we'll go. Right, Josette? Was that the plan?
That's it.
Yes, no barrier
Yeah,
anymore.
Totally. Yeah.
it's really about the ease, joy, and glory. I was so happy to write the description of this call today. That was like, okay, so are we really having ease, joy, and glory in all areas of our life? So, what is it about to have ease, joy, and glory in all area of life?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I loved what you wrote today in the invitation, Josette, because, we often I find, and it's not about others, it's also about me when I started with Access. It was almost like chanting the mantra. It was almost like all of life comes to me, these and joy and glory. All of life comes to me, these and joy and glory. All of life comes to me, these and joy and glory. And there was this energy. I wasn't being His joy and glory. I was just chanting that, right? So it doesn't really create what you're looking to create. It pretty much gets you to just work harder, doing something instead of just once sitting back and being this space of all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. and letting that energy into your world and letting that energy out into everyone's worlds, everyone who's around you, whether they're in the same room, whether they're miles and miles apart, knowing that energy can just flow. And it's often we come from the space of, I want just the good and not the bad. And, the good will come to me, but the bad I will resist. But the the part of all life comes to me with ease and joy and glory, which is just so inviting, is it's all of life. It's all the energies out there. It's not about a judgment of the good energy or the bad energy, because energy is energy. Energy has no point of view. Energy is just energy. We have the point of view which makes the energy good or bad. Our points of views defines an energy as bad or good. And we are like, I don't want to receive this because this is bad. I'll receive this because this is good. And now I want it all to come to me well packaged with ease and joy and glory. But it doesn't work that way. It's like all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. And now it's like this buffet that's laid out for me to look at and be the space of, okay, it's all coming to me. And what am I now choosing? Without a point of view of right or wrong. But with the space of, if I was to choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years' time? And if I was not to choose this, what will my life be like? Let's glow all. Yes, Steve. So it's like, your willingness to have it all. It's your willingness to allow everything into your world. It's your willingness to look at it and be the space and be so present with it that you don't have to run away from it. And you don't have to be in an automatic responder system of just grabbing it because that's what you've always been doing. But from a space of, will this now contribute to the world that I am looking to create? Yeah, so I hope that gave some clarity around all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. And it's interesting how when we say that, the energy, it literally flips the energy. It's like, if you're in a space of angst, worry, panic, and now in the same energy, when you go to try to fix the energy of angst, worry, and panic, you've gone into the fixing mode. So you've gone into a judgment of the energy, and you're like, this is bad, this is wrong, I should fix it. And I'm going to say, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. From that space, you're actually just trying to change something, and you're trying to create another conclusion from a conclusion that you've already created, because you have a judgment of the conclusion that you created. Now, if you look at it and you be the space of, okay, angst, panic, anxiety, just being an allowance of that, being present with that, without the need to run away, without the need to fix it, is when you can actually ask, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. When you're an allowance of the good and the bad, is when you can be that energy. Till then, you're doing it.
You mentioned allowance. I mean, sometimes when I just get stuck on some conclusion, I will go, am I in allowance here? And it will be like, suddenly, no, I'm not in allowance of whatever is presenting to me. Can you give us a little tip to shift from this stuck point to having more allowance?
Sure, darling. Whenever you are stuck, when you are stuck anywhere, The energy of stuck is that you are unwilling to choose something different. So if you're stuck in an energy of, say, um, anxiety or panic or whatever, just because we're talking about that right now, if you're stuck in that energy, because you are not willing to choose something different. It's because you bought a lie. There are lies attached there that you are that you are making significant, that doesn't allow you to choose something else. So now when you look at it and you be the space of, okay, if I'm choosing lies here, I got to have a whole lot of judgments here. And when I have a whole lot of judgments here, I'm obviously not an allowance, right? Not an allowance of who I'm being. I'm not an allowance of who the next person is being. I'm also not an allowance of what is in my universe, what should show up. So I have an agenda with that. So when you have that energy, there is no allowance. So there is no interesting point of view. There is no allowance. There's controlling, and there's holding on to, and there's trying to fix something and solve something. And there's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of force. There's a lot of effort. And like, I'll fix this. I can do it. I can do it because I have the power over it. It's not that I be the power. I be the power and I be the allowance, and I just allow it to shift and change, knowing that it will, as I am the source of this. Now, the moment you acknowledge that, it starts to change. Because you're an allowance of what's going on around you. It's like a tree. A tree won't try to stop the rain. A tree won't try to stop the snow. The tree won't say, sun, you're too sunny. The tree will just be, right? The tree will just be. That's allowance. Knowing that it's got the power and it is the source of choice and creation. Allowance is truly one of the most beautiful energies, which if we were introduced to allowance at a younger age, we got introduced to judgment, right? We were all taught to judge. We were all taught the right way of judging and the wrong way of judging. There were different levels of judgment. There was a discrimination, there was a discernment, there were gentle judgments which shouldn't look like judgments, but they are judgments. But we were never taught to be an allowance. We were never taught to include. We were not taught to embrace. We were taught to separate and exclude. So that was told to us that we could then show up. If we exclude, then we will be. But every time that you go into exclusion, you separate from the greatness of who you be. So there is no allowance. When there is no allowance is when there's a need for separation.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
To really speak to the energy that I was getting. Thank you.
You're welcome, love. Yeah. Would anyone like to does anyone have any questions, or how many have done the bars classes? Anybody else? Anyone attended a bars class before?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. How many have attended a foundation class? Amazing. Okay, cool. How many would like to attend a foundation class? Yeah, it's so interesting how somebody asked me the other day, what is a foundation class? I said, what is this? You keep talking about this 3.5-day foundation class. And I was like, it's really not easy to explain a foundation class. And that, in other words, it's not even easy to explain a bars class, but there is something tangible that we do talk about in a bars class as 32 points. But when you look at a foundation class, there's really nothing really tangible about, nothing really concrete that you can hold on to and tell someone and explain it to somebody, except be the energy of the foundation class. So when I looked at them, I was like, well, in my world, the foundation that I created for myself as a child came from with all the past reference points of all my past lifetimes. It came with all the points of view that my family has had. And I tried to create something where I could survive, where I wouldn't die, where I wouldn't be sucked into, but I could still swim. My head was still above the water. I wasn't drowning. And that's when I created that foundation. I thought I was alive because I wasn't drowning. And then when I did the foundation class, everything was taken away. And it was literally the space of, I don't have to just save myself from drowning. I can swim. I can fly because I have the tools. And it's not the space of rejecting and making the past wrong or making this reality wrong. It's about embracing this reality and creating beyond this reality with the magical tools that we have, with the magical body processes that we have, and with the new foundation clearings that we have. It's interesting how people's money flows change, their relationships change, their body changes. I mean, I had fibromyalgia for almost 19 years of my life, from the age of 29 to the age of 47. I'm not giving you, I am probably giving my age away, but who cares? And
Yeah.
I had fibromyalgia from the age of 29 to the age of 47. And 47 is when I got introduced to Access Consciousness. And by then, my body was actually exhausted. I had tried everything, right from steroids, cortisons, Ayurvedic, homeopathic. I'd been to the gurus, and I had been to astrologers. I had done everything. I'd been to the best of best doctors. I'd, gotten so many injections. I had done everything and nothing would change. And then I got introduced to Access Consciousness. And in 6 months, medication that I had been on for almost 19 years, which was very strong medication, because there is no treatment for fibromyalgia. If any of you know about fibromyalgia, there is no treatment for fibromyalgia. It's a very, very painful muscular disorder. So the doctors say. There is no medication for fibromyalgia. So what the doctors gave me was antidepressants when I wasn't in depression. Without being in depression, I was put on antidepressants for 19 years. And when I started to get my bars run, and I did the foundation class and I did the 3-day body class, and in 6 months, and guys, this is me telling you my story. This is not hear and say, this is not anybody else's story. This is me. In 6 months, I was off all medication. And it's been 10 years and I haven't had an attack of fibromyalgia. I walk, I run, I climb mountains, I swim, I do it all. And my muscles support me, my body supports me. The magic of Access Consciousness tools is something that I'm truly passionate about. I mean, when I got introduced to Access, I had a business of crochet. I was exporting crochet. I was doing jewelry designing for almost 8 years. When I got introduced to this, yeah, truly, Angelique, it was like, it came as such a passion into my world. I was like, this is what I want to take to every household in the world. Even today, my demand is that everybody on the planet has the option to choose Access Consciousness. What if everybody on this planet had that option, just the way we have an option for a croissant? or a Tylenol or whatever medication you just reach out to when you have a headache, just the way you have an option for that. What if each one of us on this planet had the option to get our bars run, to get introduced to access consciousness, to use the tools of access consciousness? I mean, I went to my doctor. I remember I went to my neurologist after, 7 months, 8 months of, using tools of access and getting my bars run. And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, you're looking much better. Been taking medicines regularly?" I said, "No, I gave up the medication." He says, "No, Chandana, don't do that. Fibromyalgia will come back." I remember sitting across him and just looking at him and being, interesting point of view. You have that point of view. Interesting point of view. I have the point of view that you have that point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And I just kept repeating that in my mind while he kept telling me how I should go back to my medication. And I had taken a file on access consciousness and, on stuff like that to tell him that, hey, I'd love all the patients of fibromyalgia who don't know that there's another way out to know about this, because I'm a living example, and they will know that there's more to life and there's more possible. And he was like, "No, this doesn't work. This is not going to work." So I was like, "Okay, thank you very much. No, thank you. Out of here, man." So that truly changed my life. And today, when I had this the bars class, there was this young man who had come because he says his father has dementia and is now he has Alzheimer's, and he says he's barely 68. And what can I do to help him? What can I do to change him? And I was like, what if the biggest help that you can be for him is to allow him to choose what he chooses and to give him the option of the bars? How empowering is it when you have that option in your world? And the tool that I used the most to change fibromyalgia was, who does this belong to? The first easy one. Yeah. And then I wrote a book that got approved by Access Consciousness because I wanted people to know. It's right here. I will get it when I come. This is the one. And this book is about how I changed my life with the tools of access. So what is truly possible, guys? What is truly possible with the tools of access if you allow them into your world? If you just put your barriers down and you just be the energy of, okay, all these years I've been trying to change some whatever with my head, with thinking. What if I can now allow this illogical, whatever this thing is, into my world? What can then change?
Thank you very much for sharing that. And I just wanted to point out how much the Access Consciousness tools have worked for me. A few of the person online know me, and I know that the 9 years that I just lived, the 9 last years, I've been creating miracles and miracles and miracles and miracles after miracles. And it's always like, what else is possible here? What can I choose here? I mean, the easiest tool for me is it really what I want to choose? What I'm doing here, what I'm being here? And what else can I choose? And from all these simple tools, I've created so much more that if I go back 9 years ago and what I was asking, I remember myself in a class with Chandana Bawa back in 2016, and I was telling her, what are computers? Why do I have to go beyond my computing thoughts and so on? And today, when I have thoughts coming up, I will be saying, why am I even going into that energy?
Ah,
And it changed completely. It changed. It can change things like that.
that.
So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing, my dear. Yeah. So I look forward to seeing you all. I look forward to being together. And I truly wonder what else is possible and what infinite possibilities are available and now available for each one of us.
So I just wanted to add to anyone who would like to do a bars class, I will be giving a bars class next Sunday before the foundation. And the foundation with beautiful Chandana will start on the 7th of June. We are starting at 3 p.m. and it will be in Black River in La Balise Marina. Chandana has chose a beautiful villa to welcome us. So it's still time to choose and get your prereq for those who don't have the blouse class prereq. And yeah, I can't wait to see you and be in the energy of the foundation class.
Me too, sweetheart.
Thank you so much.
Forward to seeing you all. And loads of love. Even if I didn't get to see number of your faces, I'll remember the names. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you, Josette, for putting this together, my love. Thank you, darling. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Bye, Chantal. Chantal, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, Chantal. Yes,
Lovely.
French pronunciation.
Nice.
Chantal.
Chantal.
Looking forward to see you.
Looking forward to my. Bye.
Bye.